You might have been hearing more about this part of Canada lately, the Ring of Fire. It's an area in northwestern Ontario that has become a political target, playing a large role in U.S. President Donald Trump's threats to annex Canada. It's located about 500 kilometers northeast of Thunder Bay, and it's home to many critical minerals, including those that are needed for electric vehicle batteries. It is one of their resource-rich areas in our country that the U.S. president has his eye on. So this morning, we're going to show you just why the Ring of Fire is so valuable to both of our countries. And to do that, we've reached out to Elizabeth Steyn, who is a professor of law at the University of Calgary. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
First of all, tell us more about the minerals that are found in the Ring of Fire.
So they have quite a bunch of very important minerals, things like chromite, nickel, copper, gold, platinum, palladium, quite a lot of the really important energy transition minerals.
One of the things that's been interesting as tariff news has come forward in Canada is that we're learning more about industries that maybe we might not have paid close attention to before. So when you give me a list of those, chromite, cobalt, nickel, copper, platinum, what makes them so valuable, not just to our country, but in particular south of the border?
Well, Canada is what we call a supplier country, whereas the US is an off-taker country, by which I mean that we are predominantly a mining country. We supply minerals and metals to countries like the US. The US, with its massive economy, can't really supply in its own needs. And when we have metals that are so popular, energy transition metals, also digital transition metals and national security metals, which are really what the critical metals are about, then the US needs to reach out to other countries to get its stock. And it would either be a country like China, which, as we know, the US is in a trade war with, or otherwise, well, Canada comes to mind.
Speaking of Canada, I mean, the Ring of Fire has really become a political target. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says he would approve all permits to unlock mining in the mineral-rich Ring of Fire in Northern Ontario within 6 months. Should they be elected, they're going to commit $1 billion over 3 years to building roads and access. What are your concerns with the U.S.'s interest in Canada's minerals and potentially this area of Ontario?
Well, my biggest concern and thought at the moment is that everybody is talking about speeding up the mineral process, but the minerals are really still under the ground. And I'm not sure that anybody realizes how long it takes to get the minerals out from under the ground, whether it is the US or Canada. It takes a long time to build a mine. Physically, once you've got the permits going, you need to do the actual mine construction. So whether it is from Canada or from the US, it's not, you don't snap your fingers and the metals and the minerals are ready for the taking.
How long does it take, Elizabeth?
On average, about 17 years.
17 years?
Yes.
Wow. That doesn't come up when they're having political debates. What can Canada do then to better protect our own resources? Is it who owns the mines? Is it keeping it within here in Canada? What can we do?
Well, for sure, we need to look at who owns the mines, and Canada has been doing that. In the past few years, we've blocked about 5 mines from being purchased by Chinese interests. Of course, at that stage, we thought that the Chinese were hostile buyers. We need to clearly expand that definition a little. What we could do also is to really invest in Canadian industry. At the moment, it is very difficult for junior companies to start exploring. There's a dearth of capital to invest in the whole mining exploration process. So you have the exploration process, and then you will get a mid-sized company who purchases that exploration project and who takes it further for construction. But if you don't have the key exploration part going well, there is no project to purchase. So we really need to invest in that first segment of the whole project.
No pun intended, Elizabeth, but it's been great to dig into the Ring of Fire and what's underneath that marshy-looking bog. Elizabeth Steyn, Assistant Professor of Law at the University of Calgary. Great to have you here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
All right, here's Lindsay with In Case You Missed It.